Have you ever felt like someone doesn't like you, even though you've done nothing wrong? Maybe you're friendly, polite, and kind, but they still act distant or cold. It makes you wonder, why do some people feel this way about you? The truth is, it's often not about you at all. Sometimes people's feelings come from their own insecurities, jealousy, or struggles they're dealing with inside. They might not even realize why they feel that way. Understanding why this happens can help you handle relationships better and see things more clearly. In this video, we'll talk about some surprising reasons why people might secretly dislike you and how you can respond with wisdom. Let's dive in. Reason 1. Your success highlights their insecurities. Have you ever celebrated a win only to notice a friend or colleague reacting with subtle indifference or even outright hostility? It can leave you wondering, what did I do wrong? The answer might be nothing. The issue often lies within them. Your success can unintentionally force others to reflect on their own perceived shortcomings. Think about it. Success is hard-earned. Maybe you've spent years honing a skill, working late nights, or overcoming failures to reach where you are today. To you, your achievements are the result of determination. But to someone else, your progress might feel like a spotlight shining on what they haven't accomplished. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us not to let others' judgments disturb our inner peace. He believed that people's reactions stem from their own internal struggles, not our actions. This teaching aligns perfectly here. When people seem upset by your achievements, recognize that their reaction is not about you. It's their way of processing their own feelings of inadequacy or envy. But what can you do about it? First, resist the urge to boast. While you should feel proud of your success, humility goes a long way in preserving relationships. Share your journey, but focus on the effort and lessons learned rather than the outcome. For example, if someone congratulates you, talk about the challenges you overcame rather than simply basking in the glory. This can make your success feel more relatable and less intimidating. Another key is empathy. Instead of getting defensive or hurt by someone's cold reaction, try to see things from their perspective. Maybe they're going through a tough time or struggling with their own goals. A little understanding can prevent misunderstandings and even strengthen bonds. However, Stoicism also teaches us not to cling to others' approval. If someone's resentment persists despite your efforts to stay humble and kind, accept that their feelings are beyond your control. Marcus Aurelius would advise focusing on your own character, letting go of the need to please everyone. Remember, their dislike doesn't diminish your success or your worth. Reason 2. Envy and jealousy. Jealousy is an emotion we've all experienced at some point. It sneaks in when we compare ourselves to others, leaving us feeling inadequate. But while some of us learn to manage this emotion, others let it fester. And when someone is jealous of you, their feelings can manifest as resentment or even hostility. So, why does jealousy arise? It's often rooted in comparison. Perhaps you've achieved something they want, a promotion, a happy relationship, or even a sense of confidence they lack. Instead of focusing on their own growth, they fixate on what you have, allowing jealousy to consume them. Marcus Aurelius teaches us to focus on our own path rather than being swayed by others' emotions. In Meditations, he writes about the importance of staying true to your principles, regardless of external opinions. This is especially relevant when dealing with envy. You can't control someone else's jealousy, but you can control how you respond. The tricky part is that jealous people rarely admit their feelings. They might disguise their envy as sarcasm, backhanded compliments, or subtle put-downs. For instance, they might downplay your achievements, saying things like, "You were just lucky," or criticize your choices in an attempt to bring you down to their level. What's the Stoic response? First, don't take their words personally. Recognize that their behavior is a reflection of their own struggles, not your worth. Marcus Aurelius would remind us to stay calm and composed, refusing to let their negativity disturb our peace. At the same time, show kindness. While it might feel counterintuitive, patience and empathy can sometimes disarm jealousy. For example, if someone is envious of your career success, offer to share advice or insights that could help them grow. By extending a hand instead of retaliating, you might turn an adversary into an ally. Of course, not all jealousy can be resolved. In some cases, the best approach is to maintain boundaries and focus on your own growth. As Stoicism teaches, you're not responsible for others' emotions, only your own actions and reactions. Reason 3. The influence of rumors and gossip. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the tension, the kind that makes you think people have been talking about you? It's an unsettling feeling, especially when you realize rumors or gossip might be the reason why someone dislikes you. Even if the stories aren't true, they can influence how others perceive you, sometimes unfairly. But why do rumors spread in the first place? Often, they're rooted in insecurity. People gossip because it gives them a sense of power, control, or belonging. By talking about others, they shift attention away from their own flaws. Unfortunately, this behavior can lead to resentment and misunderstandings that tarnish your reputation. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, offers us wisdom for handling such situations. He reminds us that our focus should always remain on our character and actions, not on the opinions of others. He wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This means that when faced with rumors, the best response is to live in a way that disproves them. Let your actions speak louder than any false words. If you discover that someone has spread gossip about you, resist the urge to retaliate. Fighting fire with fire only adds fuel to the flames. Instead, address the issue calmly and directly if possible. For example, if the gossip comes from someone you know, approach them privately and ask for clarification. Often, simply bringing the issue into the open can diffuse tension. Another Stoic principle to keep in mind is the importance of indifference to things outside your control. You can't control what others say about you, but you can control how you react. Rather than obsessing over the damage a rumor might cause, focus on continuing to live with integrity. Over time, the truth has a way of surfacing, and those who know your character will see through the lies. Gossip can also teach us valuable lessons about trust and relationships. Pay attention to who listens to or spreads false information about you. True friends won't entertain gossip. They'll seek clarity and stand by your side. Use these moments to reevaluate your circle and invest in relationships built on trust and mutual respect. Lastly, remember that no one is immune to gossip. Even Marcus Aurelius faced criticism during his reign as emperor. Yet, his Stoic approach allowed him to rise above it, focusing instead on his duty and values. In the same way, don't let rumors derail your path. Keep your head high, your actions pure, and your focus on what truly matters. Reason 4. They feel outshined. Have you ever unintentionally made someone feel overshadowed just by being yourself? Maybe you excelled in a group project, gave a standout presentation, or naturally drew attention in a social setting. While you might not see these moments as competition, others could perceive them that way, leading to feelings of resentment. Human nature often makes us compare ourselves to others. When someone feels outshined, it can trigger a sense of inadequacy, even if your intention was never to make them feel small. This reaction isn't limited to work or school. It can happen in friendships, families, or even romantic relationships. Marcus Aurelius teaches us to act for the greater good, not for personal glory. In Meditations, he emphasizes humility and reminds us to view ourselves as part of a larger whole. This mindset is crucial when dealing with people who feel outshined by your presence or abilities. One way to address this is by shifting the focus onto others. Celebrate their strengths and achievements, even in small ways. For example, if a colleague feels overshadowed by your success at work, take the time to acknowledge their contributions. A simple compliment or gesture of appreciation can go a long way in easing their insecurities. Another approach is to lead with humility. While confidence is important, it's equally important to remain grounded. Avoid bragging or dominating conversations, even if you're proud of your accomplishments. Instead, share your successes in a way that inspires others rather than alienating them. However, Stoicism also reminds us that we can't control how others perceive us. Even with the best intentions, some people will feel threatened or resentful. When this happens, don't shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Marcus Aurelius would advise focusing on your own virtues, letting go of the need for external validation. In some cases, resentment may persist, despite your efforts to build bridges. When this happens, it's okay to set boundaries and protect your peace. Not everyone will understand or appreciate you, and that's a reality we must accept. The Stoic response is to stay true to your principles, refusing to compromise your values to please others. Ultimately, feelings of being outshined often stem from the other person's internal struggles. By approaching these situations with empathy, humility, and self-awareness, you can navigate them gracefully while staying aligned with your own path. Reason 5. They misunderstand your intentions. Have you ever felt unfairly judged for something you said or did, even though your intentions were good? Misunderstandings like this are common, and they can lead to resentment. Sometimes, people dislike you because they've misinterpreted your words or actions, assigning motives that don't align with who you truly are. This happens because perception is subjective. For example, your confidence might come across as arrogance to someone insecure. Your honesty might feel harsh to someone sensitive, or your reserved demeanor might seem unfriendly to someone who values overt social interaction. These misinterpretations aren't about your true character. They're about how others view the world through their own lens. Marcus Aurelius reminds us in Meditations that we shouldn't waste time worrying about others' opinions, especially when they're rooted in misunderstanding. Instead, he advises focusing on our own behavior and ensuring that our actions align with our values. When people misunderstand you, this Stoic principle becomes your anchor. So how can you address misunderstandings without compromising your peace? The first step is communication. If someone has misjudged your intentions, take the time to clarify your perspective calmly and respectfully. For instance, if a colleague assumes you're trying to overshadow them in a project, explain your approach and assure them that collaboration is your goal. Often, open dialogue can dispel negative assumptions. However, be mindful not to over-explain yourself. Stoicism teaches us that while clarification is valuable, we shouldn't become consumed with defending our character to everyone. Marcus Aurelius would argue that actions speak louder than words. Over time, consistently living with integrity will prove your true intentions more effectively than any explanation. It's also important to practice empathy. Misunderstandings often arise from the other person's insecurities or life experiences. For example, someone who feels unappreciated might misinterpret your independence as a lack of care. By considering their perspective, you can approach the situation with patience and compassion rather than frustration. At the same time, understand that not every misunderstanding can be resolved. Some people are unwilling to see beyond their own assumptions, no matter how much you try to clarify. In these cases, the Stoic approach is to let go. Accept that you can't control others' perceptions, and focus instead on staying true to your values. Ultimately, misunderstandings are a part of life, but they don't have to define your relationships. By prioritizing clear communication, empathy, and integrity, you can navigate these challenges with grace while maintaining your inner peace. Reason 6. Differences in fundamental values and beliefs. Have you ever felt disliked simply because you live, think, or believe differently from someone else? Sometimes the reason people secretly hate you has nothing to do with your actions. It's rooted in differences in core values and beliefs. These differences can create tension, even if you've done nothing wrong. For example, you might value self-growth and Stoic principles, while someone else prioritizes material success or social status. Or perhaps you believe in minimalism and simplicity, while they value extravagance and luxury. These contrasting worldviews can lead to conflict, especially if the other person feels threatened or judged by your lifestyle choices. Marcus Aurelius, in his Stoic teachings, emphasizes the importance of focusing on your own path rather than trying to change others. He believed that everyone is entitled to their own perspective and that our energy is better spent living virtuously than debating differences. This wisdom is crucial when dealing with people who dislike you because of conflicting values. The first step is to practice acceptance. Understand that it's natural for people to have different beliefs and priorities. Rather than trying to win their approval or change their perspective, focus on living in alignment with your own principles. For example, if you value honesty, continue to be truthful, even if others find it uncomfortable. At the same time, respect others' values, even if you don't agree with them. Stoicism teaches us to approach others with fairness and justice, treating them as we'd want to be treated. Avoid criticizing or belittling someone else's choices, as this can deepen resentment. Instead, lead by example, showing that it's possible to live harmoniously despite differences. However, not all relationships can withstand fundamental value conflicts. For instance, if someone repeatedly disrespects your beliefs or tries to impose their own, it's okay to create boundaries. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that it's better to part ways with toxic influences than to compromise our peace or integrity. It's also worth noting that value-based differences can be an opportunity for growth. They challenge us to reflect on our own beliefs and become more open-minded. By engaging in respectful dialogue, you might even find common ground with those who initially seemed so different. Finally, accept that not everyone will like or understand you, and that's okay. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own." Let this serve as a reminder to prioritize your own inner peace and values over external approval. By embracing Stoic principles, you can navigate these challenges with resilience and grace. Not everyone will understand or appreciate you, but by staying true to your values, practicing empathy, and focusing on your own growth, you'll find peace amidst the noise.